The report came that Nigerian Army has dismissed 4 soldiers fighting Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast part of the country. The frontline soldiers are Mukaila Mutari with the service number 22NA/88/10253, Isah Emmanuel with service number 22NA/83/7262. Also dismissed by the Nigerian Army included Kolomo Ashtags and Ibrahim Musa with service numbers 24NA/86/5151 and 24NA/86/0885 respectively. So these are the service number of the people who were dismissed. And the information coming is that they were fighting Boko Haram and they were asked not to shoot Boko Haram, but they shot Boko Haram because Boko Haram is a terrorist and they were dismissed. Stay with me in this video as we analyze this. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is Wednesday, the 19th day of November 2025. How many of you have seen this news? Breaking: Nigerian Army dismisses 4 soldiers fighting Boko Haram for disobeying standing order. This news have been trending since morning. A lot of people have sent it to me, but I was confused. Like, they said these 4 soldiers opened fire on Boko Haram, disobeying their superior while they were fighting Boko Haram. So they were dismissed for shooting Boko Haram when they were not ordered to shoot Boko Haram. This thing was confusing. You know, it's not every news you just bring out to the space. You've got to understand it because it's not making sense. So I waited. Let me see. Let all this Nigerian mainstream media or news platform, let them report it so that I will understand this angle better, because I did not see anywhere to confirm this. I only have someone who said he knew one of those people that were dismissed, that he's trying to reach out to him, but the person have not responded. I said, okay, no problem, because I needed to hear from these people they dismissed. I know people need to, contact them. Let us ask them questions like, why were you dismissed? What is the problem? They told us that these people disobey a standing order. You know what that means? Your superior will tell you, don't do this, and you do it. Is a standing order. They are going to dismiss you. So that is what they did. But the main truth, I will not say truth rather for now, but what they are saying is that these people shooting Boko Haram, that is their crime, the reason why they sacked them, they dismissed them from Nigerian military. See, dear Nigerian Army, the body, you need to speak up now, because the cup is already full. The Nigerian cup is already full. Aiding and abetting, sponsoring, financing, by all means, both buying of weapons for terrorists is what the Nigerian government are doing, and we have the evidence. So we are not saying allegedly. We are not alleging what I am saying now. I'm not alleging it. There is time for everything. It is time for you to talk like someone who is politically correct. But this period we are, it's not a period to talk like someone who is politically correct. We want to know how these people were dismissed and why they were dismissed. Because if actually the information we receive is true, that these people were dismissed because they were fighting Boko Haram, because you asked them not to shoot Boko Haram. Who are the Boko Haram? The terrorists you are colluding, the terrorists that wiped away almost 200 soldiers day before yesterday, killing Brigadier General. And on 17 here, people were dismissed for not holding back to shoot these terrorists. You see, for those of you who do not still understand what is actually going on in Nigeria, listen to this.
Are hoping for?
Well, whether we like it or not, we are living in a global village. Let me use a very popular cliche. The world knows our situation, which is the reason why those who really are concerned about what's going on in this country, look, there are attempts by interests to take over huge territory, part of Nigeria, part of Chad, part of Cameroon, part of Niger, and turn it into the global headquarters of terror. Those in intelligence circles know this. I'm saying this publicly now. A lot of people know this. We must never allow that kind of thing to happen. We don't want to live under ISWA. We don't want to live under Boko Haram. We don't want to live under Lokarawa. We don't want to live under...
Yes, there is a plan to annex Nigeria into a terror stronghold. Nobody's talking about this. People are afraid to talk about it. But how can you be afraid in Nigeria? Where people are... Look at people went to church. They shot them inside the church, even inside the church. So where is safe? So why would you be afraid to speak when you know there is no safety anywhere? So if there is safety, you could say, oh, let me not talk, or let me remain safe. So you can't be safe. So why don't speak out? It is time for people to put away the fear, put away every bondage of lukewarmness, because where we are going, where we are moving into now, where we are moving into is a stage of confrontational war. Now, for those of you who have been following me for over 2 years, I did not jump into this trend though. I have been saying this for years now. I have been telling you what that will happen. And all of them are happening simultaneously. Now, I am telling you, even before the Americans started saying they want to intervene, I have been saying it that in 2026 that there will be full-scale war in Nigeria. Like soldiers will see terrorists and run. Police will see the terrorists, police will run. There will be full-scale war. People will be calling for help. But unfortunately, for them, not for me, before then there will be something that will happen. And my prayer and my plea to everyone, do everything you can do to stay alive till like February, March 2026. If you can succeed Nigeria, if you can stay alive till February, March 2026, there will be relief, there will be freedom, there will be tranquility. Something significant is about to happen. There will be a shift in Nigeria. It's not everything I will come online to say, but there will be a shift. But before that shift, there is a looming crisis people are not seeing. It's a looming crisis, like war, raging, that is going to happen. So all these things are not classified information. All these people you see, DSS, what is it called, DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, they are aware of this. They are aware of this. They know all these terror sponsors. They know the terrorists. They know whom they are. They know everything about them. We have to be very careful. See, you see this country, it is not going to work. No, it will not work. There is a big problem. The country will not work. So no matter how you pray about Nigeria, Nigeria will not work. There is already plan B. Nigeria will not work. So if you like, say Tinubu should resign. Tinubu resign, it will get worse. Yes. If Tinubu resign, it will get worse. So it's not all about Tinubu. It's about the establishment. It's about people who owns Nigeria. It's about people who can make leader, who can quench leader. Tinubu is just a boy to them. You people will not understand this. So the main issue here is that we want to know, because we are documenting everything that is going on, how the government are conducting the allegations, the evidence available, and fact findings. We want to know, these soldiers, do they shoot Boko Haram and they dismiss them? If that is true, no problem. We are keeping quiet till the doomsday. You see, on the doomsday, on the impending doomsday, everybody will answer for what they have done. No matter whom you are, be president, be governor, no matter whom you are going to answer for what you do. Your houses will not, there will not be enough space in Nigeria to contain your people. Because, you see, even though you are pursuing a ram or a goat, there will be, to an extent where the animal will run to. The animal will be tired. The animal will have no any other option than to face you. When you are faced with two evil, you choose the lesser one. It's about time we choose. Shall we continue to die in the name of law abiding? Shall we continue to die because we want to be a better person for terrorists? No. The option is simple. When you are faced with two evil, you choose the lesser one.
This is the only thing I want to take. If I get protected in my environment, please keep your roads, keep your schools. We just want to be safe. And that is the message we are sending to the Senate President. Please save our life and our people. We are not bothered about roads now or schools. Please save our lives. Our people's lives are in danger. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Mr. Senate President, I thank you very much for permitting me under Order 41 to present to you the cruciating security problem, not only in my senatorial district, but across many other senatorial districts, especially by the senatorial district of my brother, Senator Karimi. And like I said, this matter becomes very urgent because of the fear that if we don't take very urgent action on this, it will definitely spread to other southern senatorial districts. In fact, I was discussing with Senator Fadansi on the sideline yesterday, and he asserted that they have started seeing the sign of this issue in their own senatorial district too. So that's why I find it very necessary to bring it to the notice of Senate so that we can quickly do something about it. The local government in my senatorial district that is mostly affected is one of the biggest local governments in the country. And I have the feeling that with much urgency, something must be done, and it must be done very quickly. With my permission, sir, I will briefly go through the urgent need to address insecurity in Kwara South Senatorial District and beyond, and particularly in the federal local government area, call for immediate and comprehensive federal intervention. The Senate notes with grave concern the escalating insecurity in Kwara South Senatorial District, especially in the federal local government area, where bandits' attacks, kidnappings, and killing have reached alarming levels in recent weeks. And I will want the Senate to take note that most of these people who are fleeing, straight away, they are going to Lagos to congest Lagos. And if they are not very careful, this thing will quickly snowball in Lagos State. Further notes that within the last month, no fewer than 12 foreign guards and local vigilante members were killed in an ambush by armed bandits in Okeode, including a traditional ruler, Bale of Ogba Ayo community, and several other traditional and community leaders were among those slain in separate incidents in Babanda, Sagbe, Uruago, Gamu Aleri, in the Felodun local government, Isin local government, Ekiti local government, and Okeoro local government. Concerned that at least 142 persons have been kidnapped and over 70 killed in the last 12 months across Kwara South, with no fewer than 25 communities deserted due to recurring attacks, leading to severe human displacement and disruption of social and economic life. Farms have been abandoned, roads have become unsafe, local economies are completely paralyzed, and schools have closed, thereby worsening poverty and increasing youth vulnerability to crime. Aware that these attacks are largely perpetrated by foreign armed elements in collaboration with local informants operating from forest adults along Kwara, Kogi State, and Ekiti State boundary axis. While the federal government and security agents have made some interventions, including sporadic patrols and raids, the responses remain episodic, inadequate, and reactive, leaving vast of ungoverned spaces under the control of the criminal gangs. Disturbed that local security volunteers and vigilantes who serve as first responders in most cases lack adequate equipment, mobility, protection, or insurance, yet continue to sacrifice their lives in defense of their communities. Recognizes that sustaining security in Kwara South, if not urgently addressed, may spread to other parts of North Central states and Southwest political zones, thereby threatening national stability. The Senate therefore resolved to urge the federal government to establish a permanent military base in Kwara South Senatorial District near the forest belt of fellow local government as rapid response up, and mandate the Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police to deploy additional troops and special units to clear the forest and return normalcy in the affected communities. Call on NEMA to immediately provide humanitarian relief to displaced persons in the Ifelovun and other affected local government area, and urge the federal government to compensate families of fallen forest guards and vigilantes who died defending their communities. Direct relevant security agencies to identify and prosecute local collaborators aiding bandits' operation in Kwara South and beyond. Mandate the Senate Committee on Defense, Police Affairs, and National Security and Intelligence to undertake on-the-spot assessment of affected areas and report back within 2 weeks. And mandate the Senate to invite the Minister of Defense, Chief of Army Staff, and Inspector General of Police to brief the Senate in plenary on the coordinated federal response to insecurity in Kwara South. Lastly, sir, observe 1 minute of silence in honor of forest guards, vigilantes, traditional leaders, and innocent citizens who lost their life to bandit attacks in Kwara South Senatorial District and Kogi State. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, my colleagues, I want to thank the leader, the deputy leader for bringing this motion. The axis bordering Kwara South Senatorial District, Kogi West, and Niger State has become the axis of evil for these criminal elements. Mr. President, in the last 6 months, our people have been under attacks every day. Kidnapping, killing, and looting. In fact, a part of my senatorial district, every part of my senatorial district, all local governments in my senatorial district has been attacked by these people. And they even took over some communities. In fact, one of the commissioners that traveled with my governor to the affected area called me yesterday and said, do you know they have taken over these communities? They did not only take over, our people fled from those communities, and they came, broke down their homes, and took over their homes. That is the situation we find ourselves. Mr. President, one of those guys that was kidnapped and was with the bandit for months, when he was released, he made a statement. It's all over the social media that the leaders, one of the leaders of the bandits said, your senator, he built barrack for soldiers to attack us. Yes, I built barracks, which I financed privately. It cost me a lot of money. just to ensure security of that environment. They said, go and tell him with his barrack and his soldiers, we are waiting and looking for them. That we have generals in the field here. Mr. President, we've got to do something about it. Yes, the federal government is trying. They are planning to set up the forest guard. It's a noble move. But we need to do something urgently. Some people are benefiting from this criminality. They may also be planning because they know that they are losing the election already. You know, during 2023 election, some people plan and already brought criminal elements to Nigeria in anticipation that they are going to lose election and that Jonathan will not. No, that was 2015. That Jonathan will not, 2019 I mean to say, will not leave government. But we thank God he left voluntarily. That was 2015. Yeah. Those same people, Mr. President, they are aware that Nigerians, they are now realizing that the good work that President Tinubu is doing and that their plan to stop him, they are not going to succeed. I guess they are resorting into violence. They are resorting into causing mayhem. And we got to move fast and stop them because they are definitely going to lose the election and we will not allow them to bring this country down because of their selfish ambition. Our people are suffering and we got to do something promptly. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to, with your permission, commend the mover of this motion for the facts he has stated with regards to what is happening in Kwara State. Like we said earlier, Mr. President, they say injury to one is injury to all. Anything happening to any part of this country affects the whole. But listening to Senator Karimi, it is true that these violent criminals are advancing towards the south. They're doing a lot of damage, as he rightly said, in Kogi State. But they have crossed Kogi to Edo North. And when the mover of this motion talk about the need to establish a military barrack, I was just going to remind him that in Edo North, in Agenebode, we have a military barrack that has been there for more than 15 years. Well equipped. They even deploy people from that barrack to the northeast. And yet, within that local government, we have experienced series of killings, including targeting students in a minor seminary, many of whom have been kidnapped. They are Catholic priests, as well as some of the students. I think it bears reminding the Chief of Army Staff that he has to refocus and give firm instructions to military units, at least to guarantee their area of operation. But I have difficulties with the last part of my Senator Karime's statement about the political aspect. I think we have to be careful not to politicize what obviously is a criminality across the country. My plea, sir, Mr. President, in line with what we've done before, is to keep on reminding our armed forces that the battle is on and they must be seen to consolidate on the gains that have already been achieved. I am very sympathetic to the fact that many young officers and not so young have been wasted in their quest to defend us. While I acknowledge this laudable effort and the progress that have been made, I think it's important that we remind the armed forces that each day a Nigerian is kidnapped particularly near a military facility, our people feel discouraged. In Okwela, where we have 2 giant cement factories, 6 civil defense officers were felled by kidnappers, 6 of them in warfare swap because they were protecting the expatriates working in that factory, and they managed to escape with 1 or 2 of those expatriates. But the men in uniform, civil defense, paid with their life, 6 of them. And that is why I have difficulties in no one can downplay that men in uniform and women in uniform are fighting hard to protect us. We just need to urge them to refocus, to re-strategize, and to recognize that if we are making gain in any war part and the criminals are migrating to another part, that is not a total gain. There has to be a strategy. I am limited by the fact that I can't lay claim to any knowledge of security. If you are pouring water from one side, it will be moving to the other side. So we need to cage them. There has to be a concerted effort to cage from the south, so they don't migrate to the south, as well as keep pushing them from the north so that you cage them at the center and find a way that means of wasting them. Otherwise, my fear is that each time something happens near an army installation, people say, if this can happen near a military barrack, what about those of us who don't even have military installation? But I want to acknowledge what the armed forces are doing. I want to acknowledge the progress that have been made, but they need to be reminded that they need to work harder. And that is why I was a bit worried last week when a former chief of defense staff published a book called The Stars. I wasn't quite sure what to make out of his interview the following day, when he seeks, in my view, to almost suggest that it's a political something. I think the armed forces have a duty to stick to their mandate, focus on the job at hand, and ensure that they do not allow distractions. I don't think this thing is just political. I think there are people who are determined to make money. They found kidnapping as rewarding. They find, yes, you kidnap somebody, you pay, regardless of what the government might say. Individual family people are unable to resist paying a ransom, and every ransom you pay is an incentive for more people, for the people to go back and kidnap again. But I want to salute the armed forces and urge them through your leadership, sir, that there is still much more to be done. Thanks.
Lingering issue. In fact, on the floor here, it has become almost like a boring pastime. We're tired of lamentations on issues of insecurity. And one wonders, with the gains of technology, why are we having this lingering crisis? I think the time has come more than ever before for us to rise and face this challenge headlong. And we shouldn't bring in politics. This is one issue that threatens the very fabric of our existence. One salutes the very bold efforts of our armed forces. But then we must appreciate the fact that security is everybody's concern, and that we cannot make any meaningful progress if we remain in the straits as we are. So on behalf of Ekpa South, I want to align that the migrant in Kwara is a toothache in Akwa Ibom. No part of this country is safe when another part is in trouble. So there's a clear need for us to look at this issue from a very broad perspective and approach the concern with every seriousness that this deserves. Once again, I'm worried that with the wonders of technology, we are still facing this crisis. Because this clearly is a setback to us. But I believe that if we approach this issue as a collective, and then we strengthened our grassroots. I said earlier on this floor that once we strengthen our government system, we have had a pathway to fighting insecurity. Our grassroots, where these criminals come from, so every effort must be done to strengthen the machinery of government at the grassroots, and then we as a people, must see these measles, because this has become a measles spreading very fast, and no part of this country is spared the agony of these measles. So as a Senate, we have to work as a team, put aside politics, and address the major concern that this issue confronts us as a country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the mover, for this motion. Your Excellency, I will not say much, but you remember when we confirmed the service chiefs, we vehemently agreed that we should set KPI for them and they should be reporting. Unfortunately, those KPIs were not set and no report is coming. Simply because you send us in the mass media that you killed 10 terrorists or 100 terrorists, it's not a report. You have to liberate areas so that we can see. Last time I reported in this Senate that progress has been achieved, and we were very grateful to the President and the armed forces. But unfortunately, Your Excellency, this progress is being marred. There is a renewed resurgence. Just in the last 2 months, Your Excellency, we know where the terrorists are gathering. It's in the public domain. Ordinary Nigerians need to see action. But today they will tell us they are here, tomorrow they are here. Everybody knows within our area. But we will not see any action taking place. That is to say, sir, we need this Senate to tell the armed forces to be reporting progress every week so that state by state, otherwise it will be a mess of all issues and we will not be seeing progress. Sir, I beg you that time is right now, that this problem is solvable. We have seen progress. We should not allow this progress to be derailed. We should pursue this remnant of these people so that our next election can be peaceful and sustainable. And we have something to sell to our people, sir. This is the only thing I want to take. If I get protected in my environment, please keep your roads, keep your schools. We just want to be safe. And that is the message we are sending to the Senate President. Please save our life and our people. We are not bothered about roads now or schools. Please save our lives. Our people's lives are in danger. Thank you very much, sir.
Colleagues, I am Sadiq Suleiman Umar. I represent Kwara North. Mr. President, let me first thank our colleague, Senator Lala Ashiru, for bringing this to the Senate attention once again. Mr. President, my distinguished colleague, we've gone around this repeatedly, and for information, Kwara, we benefited from very good peace for a long time until the bandits and kidnappers started seeping in from the borders, and they started from my area, actually, the Kwara North. Alhamdulillah, the government of Kwara State, the federal government, there has been good collaboration and effort, and that side is being, brought under control. Now, they have moved to Kwara South again. And my sympathy to our people in Kwara South, because there has been a lot of suffering in that senatorial district as well. But the state government and the federal government are collaborating with the military structures as well as local vigilantes to see that this is brought to an end finally. However, Mr. President, while we represent our people and bring up what happens to them, the key tool we have as a legislature constitutionally is our investigative powers and our oversight function. And I think we need to bite harder. Our security committees, they need to be grilled better. They need to give us updates more regularly. Let's understand what are the gaps, what do they need from us. As far as I'm concerned, as a National Assembly, we've been supporting these institutions. And of course, we hear various conspiracy theories that there are some people benefiting from this. Why shouldn't we know who these people are? These are the things we should pay attention to, Mr. President, and so that we can bring this to an end finally. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the trajectory of the movement of insecurity in this country if not nipped in the bud, has the potential of consuming the whole country. This problem of insecurity initially started in Borno State. It later on snowballed into the whole of the Northeast. It migrated to the North Central and is now migrated also to some part of the Southwest. So it has a Northwest. It has also consumed the Northwest completely. So it has clearly shown that it has the potential of consuming the whole country. Our military and our armed forces are doing enough. They are doing their best. But we still need them to do more, even with regard within the limited constraints of resources that they have at their disposal. In the process of this fighting this war, a lot of them have paid the supreme price and what have you. But that notwithstanding, we still expect more from them. And as a parliament that is responsible and responsive to the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians that gave us the mandate to serve them, we are going to give them all the wherewithals for them to execute this war by way of appropriation and other legislative interventions. So I support this motion wholeheartedly and adopt all the prayers contained therein. Thank you.